do a little bit of a library haul. I have quite a bit of books to me. Half of them are books that like I physically went into the library and picked up, and then the other half are like my holds that I picked up yesterday. And I thought that I would do a little bit of a haul and show you which ones I got. I'm gonna start with the ones that I like physically went into the library to get. So first I have The Life of the Vine. This was a random like pickup. I didn't necessarily like, this wasn't a book that I was like wanting to read, and it's basically about a English professor who suffers a miscarriage, and it just kind of talks about her experience and things that she's kind of coming to terms with, and I thought it was an interesting take on maybe loss. Probably some trigger warnings in there. I don't know how much I'm gonna actually like reading it. I don't know, just because it's not a book that I picked it up to give it kind of a chance. We Wish You Luck. This is another just random pickup. I picked this one up and just because of the cover, I like the cover, and it's about a group at I want to say not like an elite school, but 3 graduate students who were kind of like known as like that like group on campus, and I believe they go and get revenge on a professor. So see, it's about, again, not on like my Goodreads or anything that I wanted to necessarily read. I just picked it up to kind of give myself a little variety. Next I have The Water Cure. This was on my Goodreads. I think someone that I watched on YouTube, she said she was reading this. I think it was definitely in like reference to the book, what's it called, I Who Have Known Men, which I also want to read. I need to see if my library has a copy of that, but I think she was like reading both of these, or this one, I don't know. Anyways, it's about either one girl or a group of girls who are sisters, and I believe their father like raises them on this island. They're on an island isolated to fear men. Okay, so it's about women on an island being protected from the chaos and violence of men on the mainland. The cult-like rituals and therapies they endure fortify them against the spreading toxicity of a degrading world. This was definitely like a me read. I picked it up. And I'm a bit of a mood reader, and I want to read this so bad, but I'm just like not in the mood for it. But definitely was on my Goodreads, and I picked it up. Dogs of Summer. I actually already read this, finished it in like 3 days, which is actually like slower reading pace for me. It's a very short book, only 180 pages. But this was not like on my Goodreads or anything. I just happened to, it was on like an end cap. I really like the cover, picked it up. Again, I've already finished this, but it follows 2 girls over the course of a summer, and it is translated from Spanish. And it follows 2 girls over the course of a summer and their relationship of just like things like jealousy, toxic woman friendships. I thought it was very interesting, just cover wise, and then when I read the little like insert, I was like, interesting. But I've already read this, so I'll have to talk about it in another video. Next, I have The End of Loneliness. Now, this was on my Goodreads. This follows Jules, whose childhood is shattered by the sudden death of his parents. He's enrolled in a boarding school, and him and his siblings are kind of forced apart. And I guess it kind of like, he does meet somebody, and I think like falls for them, and it kind of tells his life over the course of that time. And I think he goes looking for the girl that he like fell for while he was there, and then just his relationship with his siblings because they're estranged. This, I don't know, it's giving sad vibes, but I thought I love a good little story like this. Thought it'd be a little interesting. Next I have, hopefully I'm saying this right, Antiquity. It's translated from Swedish, and it's I saw someone that I watch on like BookTube, or did I see it on TikTok? I don't know, either way. Saw somebody else recommend this, put it on my Goodreads, my library had it. It is described as a queer Lolita. I DNF Lolita. So I don't know how well I'm going to necessarily like get on with this. I'm a little nervous. But it's about a woman who I don't think she's like named at all, and she falls for, I believe, her friend's daughter. And I don't want to say like falls for her, but like I guess like grows like some type of infatuation with her friend's daughter. And I believe they're like on a trip on a Greek island. Yeah, she falls for her friend's daughter. I'm nervous. I did read like My Dark Vanessa and Tampa, which were like, I could get through those, but like Lolita, DNF'd. No. Next I have We Were the Universe. I actually passed this in the library, and then was looking at like my Goodreads list and saw that I had this on there. I've already started reading a few pages, and I don't really think that I'm gonna like this too much. It's about this woman who is dealing with the death of her sister, and she's trying to navigate that. And I guess she kind of goes into her head with like fantasies, and it's just about the navigation of like grief. I don't know, maybe I don't know, but I'm gonna give it a try. Next I have the books that I had on hold that I picked up yesterday. This one is I Love You So Much It's Killing Us Both. I put this on hold solely based off the cover, but it's giving like Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. It's about, I believe, a woman who goes to her friend's party. Her friend is having a party for her adoptive daughter. Like, she adopted a child and is having a party, and she invites her. And I guess they're like estranged, and they used to be in like a band together. It's about like codependent friendship. She has like a boyfriend. It involves like the punk scene. Maybe not Nick and Nora's Playlist. I heard New York and punk. I don't know why I put those two together. I don't know. I think it's gonna be very like, I don't know. It's New York. It's got some music influence. 1980s hardcore to 2010s emo scene. We'll see. Next, I have one that I have seen on BookTok for quite some time, and I've been wanting to read it. And what's crazy is I never knew what the story is about. Never knew what it was about. Just solely based off the cover, like, I want to read it. Milk Fed. Had no idea what this was about. Just saw the cover, wanted to read it. They had it at my library, immediately put it on hold. Is that mine? That's mine. Okay. It's about a woman named Rachel, and it kind of touches on, I believe, some things such as like eating disorders. She meets another woman, and she becomes entranced by her, and they're both Jewish. Yeah, I, as you could tell, like I said, I did not thoroughly, like, I skimmed the little like inside blurb to kind of get an idea of what it was about, and I was like, good enough for me. So finally picked this up. Next I have Thirst for Salt. This is a romance. I typically do not read romances. Is this qualified? No. Yes, and Milk Fed is also a romance. Did not know that. But I don't typically read romances. I just don't. Give me a story about a spiraling woman. That's all I need. Yeah. I have read a few pages of this on my Kindle, but the loan ran out and I didn't get to like finish it, and I really didn't read much of it. But I know it's about like an older woman, and she's kind of, I believe, recounting her relationship with, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, because this is saying she finds somebody named Jude and she like falls deeply entranced with him. But if this is what I was reading, and I think it was what I was reading, she was like recounting a past relationship with like an older man. Okay, so next I have Lost on Me, which saw somebody on a video and she like flashed the cover of this. Like she was in a bookstore and I saw it and I was like, I think I want to read that. And I looked it up, and again, solely just reading off the cover and vibes. I was a girl who has two parents who I guess have some issues, and it kind of just follows her. I guess she tries to get emancipated, her discovery of sex and fixation with unwitting men, and ultimately her contentious relationships with reality. I don't know, it's kind of, I guess, like maybe a coming of age story. Is it Italian? Lastly, I have Margot's Got Money Troubles. So I did rent this from like on my Kindle from my library a little while back. So I did read like the first few pages, but my loan ran out. And then there's like 20 people. There's like 8 copies and like 20 people per copies waiting. So I saw that they had physical copy, and I picked that up, which is another reason why I got physical copies, because I guess a lot of people read on their Kindles and rent, because majority of the books that I like try to get on my Kindle, usually there's a long extensive wait, but they had this and I went ahead and picked it up. This follows a young girl who winds up getting pregnant and keeping her baby, and she's like really young and she's still trying to navigate life, figure out life, and she winds up starting an OF account to kind of help herself, and I thought this was a really good like me book. So yeah, that concludes my library haul. It's probably gonna take me a while to read these books just because life, and it usually takes me at least a week to read a book, which I hate, because I used to be like someone who would like finish a book in like one day or like a day and a half, but it's gonna take me quite a bit, and I plan on doing a monthly wrap up at the end of this month, so be on that lookout for that. But that is my library haul. Sorry if I did not know what majority of these books that I am going to be reading were about.